Bank and vault robberies are always complex, demanding meticulous planning and precise execution. Yet, the story I'm about to share unfolds differently. A singular individual orchestrating a vault breach that was both surprisingly effortless and flawlessly executed. The loot? A staggering $17 million. However, what sets this tale apart is the destined downfall of the lone perpetrator, leading to the loss of all the pilfered money. I promise you'll enjoy every moment of this story, but it's crucial to pay attention to the details. Now, let's delve into the video for an entertaining watch. Our story begins on May 10th, 1997, at 7:15 a.m. in Carolina. A woman named Tammy Ghantt made a call to the police, expressing concern over the disappearance of her husband, David Scott Ghantt. David worked at the Loomis Fargo warehouse in Charlotte, Carolina, home to a colossal vault safe guarding the bank's money. Upon reaching the warehouse, the responding officers discovered David's car outside, the fence and warehouse door ajar. Something was amiss. The police quickly assessed the situation, realizing the gravity of the circumstances, and called for support.
Requesting backup!
The head of the police department arrived, and the mystery deepened. David, the sole custodian of the vault, had vanished. Theories of kidnapping or being forced into illegal activities loomed. The chief vault supervisor disclosed that David had worked with a new employee the previous night, and they were supposed to close the warehouse together. Attempting to unravel the enigma, they headed to the control room to review security footage. Astonishingly, the tapes connecting to the cameras were missing. However, they found a third recording tape inside the vault, capturing everything from the previous night. It appeared that David was unaware of its location. What unfolded on that tape revealed the crux of the matter. David, inside the vault, stealthily pilfering bundles of cash and loading them onto the bank's truck. The FBI was swiftly brought in, already aware that David, the vault supervisor, and the armored truck had disappeared. The first step was to open the vault to find any clues. A technician was summoned to break the lock, revealing an empty vault. The missing money, when tallied, amounted to over $17 million. A ton in weight, untraceable due to the absence of serial numbers. Inside David's car, an agent found his wedding ring in a smoke canister box, suggesting a desire to sever ties and start anew. The FBI, on the second day, began their quest for answers. They visited David's home, questioning his wife Tammy and his sister about his motivations. Tammy, unaware of any unusual behavior, disclosed their financial struggles, credit card debt and David's extra work hours to alleviate it. With David's image dispersed and details of the crime shared, the FBI charged David with vault theft, suspecting potential collaboration with a gang due to the scale of the heist. Agents then spread across all airports and bus stations, posting his picture everywhere. Considering that David had stolen a sum close to a ton in weight, it was clear he would need a large space to store such a massive amount. Amidst a drug-related inquiry, a source tipped them off about Stephen Chambers, a man who had conspicuously splurged on a $600,000 house and a new BMW, all purchased with cash. 2 days post-heist on a Monday, a man cutting grass in a forest stumbled upon a peculiarly parked truck. A quick call to the police set off a chain of events that led the FBI to an astonishing discovery. The truck was laden with a bundle of small denominations, mainly $1, $5, and $10 bills totaling approximately $3.3 million. Alongside the money were 2 recording tapes, a gun, a vault, and warehouse keys. The bizarre twist in our tale centers around the inexplicable decision of the thieves to abandon over $3 million in the truck. It was a considerable sum, leaving agents speculating whether fear or time constraints prompted this move. Regardless, $14 million remained unaccounted for, and David Ghantt continued to elude capture. With the discovery of the warehouse truck, the FBI turned its attention to the current and former employees. The first to face interrogation was David's colleague, who revealed that David had sent him home after work, closing the warehouse himself on the day of the heist. The head supervisor, providing insights into David's history, highlighted a glaring lack of oversight in promoting him to vault supervisor, despite occasional lapses in his duties. Delving into David's past, the FBI interviewed over 100 people within 2 days, including friends, family, relatives, and military buddies from his time in the Gulf War. Despite their efforts, no leads emerged. Colleagues mentioned a close bond between David and a former co-worker, Kelly Campbell, who had left the warehouse a year prior. The FBI, eager for any lead, visited Kelly's house for an interview. Despite others attesting to their closeness, Kelly denied any knowledge of the robbery and refused to undergo a polygraph test. With no evidence against her, the investigation pressed on. Examining David's phone records, the agents uncovered calls made during the robbery to an unidentified person in a phone booth. The intricate nature of the heist became apparent, a well-organized plan executed by a gang, with David as a key player. Despite this revelation, the elusive mastermind remained at large. A week after the heist, during a televised baseball game, the FBI seized an opportunity for a breakthrough. They broadcasted David's picture and details, offering a $500,000 reward for information leading to his capture. The response was massive, but none of the leads bore fruit. In Gaston County, investigators stumbled upon a parallel narrative. Amidst a drug-related inquiry, a source tipped them off about Stephen Chambers, a man who had conspicuously splurged on a $600,000 house and a new BMW, all purchased with cash. Digging deeper, they uncovered Stephen's history as an FBI informant partnered in crime with his wife, Michelle. Despite their newfound wealth, the couple had been jobless for 2 years. Michelle concocted a public image of her husband as a retired pro football player involved in various businesses. However, when the police noticed their extravagant lifestyle, they discreetly fed information to the FBI. Agents monitored the couple, observing suspicious activities, yet direct evidence linking them to the warehouse heist remained elusive. Stephen and Michelle Chambers lingered as suspects, their peculiar behavior casting shadows of doubt. In a peculiar turn of events, Michelle Chambers inadvertently sparked the attention of authorities when she walked into a bank to deposit a bag filled with cash. Making an unusual request, she asked the teller to process the deposit without any paperwork, casually divulging that the money stemmed from drug deals. The teller, sensing the abnormality, discreetly reported the incident, elevating suspicions around the mysterious couple. The FBI, now alerted, intensified its focus on Stephen and Michelle Chambers. In the following days, agents meticulously observed the couple frequently visiting various banks, strategically choosing those that facilitated large deposits and offering safety deposit boxes for their growing wealth. The unsuspecting bank managers unwittingly became accomplices to the couple's mounting activities. Stephen and Michelle spared no expense, transforming their residence with opulent sculptures and paintings, playing the role of generous hosts at lavish parties, and even surprising Michelle's father with a new car, all signaling a conspicuous shift in a lifestyle post-warehouse robbery. Faced with mounting challenges, investigators revisited David's friend, Kelly. Suspecting her involvement, they questioned her again, finding her behavior even stranger than before. Despite her tense demeanor, she refused to confess to any wrongdoing. Agents sought permission and intensified surveillance on her. Meanwhile, 3 months after the warehouse heist, the couple opened a home furniture exhibition. While the FBI maintained an intense watch, a breakthrough occurred when Kelly Campbell unexpectedly visited them. Discovering her license plate registered under Stephen Chambers' name strongly suggested a connection between Kelly, Stephen, and Michelle. Yet, despite continued surveillance, crucial information remained elusive. Fast forward to January 1998, a significant breakthrough unfolded. Michelle entered a bank to deposit $8,000, and upon reviewing security footage, agents identified the bundled money as originating from Loomis Fargo, the same warehouse involved in the heist. One bill even bore a note from a warehouse employee, cementing their involvement. Despite this compelling evidence, agents sought more information to dismantle the intricate web of deceit. Securing permission for wiretaps, agents eavesdropped on phones at Stephen and Michelle's house, their exhibition, and any public phones they might use. A pivotal moment emerged when Kelly Campbell, in a phone call to Stephen, warned him to be cautious about an impending call from David Ghantt. This revelation deepened suspicions of their complicity with David. The agents also unraveled a cipher system involving 3-digit codes with specific meanings, shedding light on their covert communication. Days later, intercepting a coded message from David to Kelly, the agents learned of a planned call to a public phone at a specific time and place. The plan was for Kelly to answer, engaging in conversation with David. Nervously waiting, the agents stood by the phone booth on the appointed day, only to be surprised when Kelly failed to show up. Tension heightened as the phone rang with no answer. Opting to answer the call themselves, one agent greeted David with a simple, "Hello?" Realizing it wasn't Kelly, David abruptly hung up. Despite being unable to pinpoint the location, The agents confirmed that David was alive and well, deepening the intrigue surrounding the elusive trio. On the same day the trio's conversations were being monitored, a startling revelation emerged. While Kelly Campbell spoke with Stephen Chambers, she expressed concern that David Ghantt might approach her for money. This left the agents perplexed. How could the mastermind behind a $17 million heist find himself in financial need? As the call unfolded, the pieces fell into place. David had entrusted the stolen money to Stephen, Michelle, and Kelly, and had fled to an undisclosed location. It appeared the funds he had taken with him had dwindled, leading him to seek more. Stephen, in the conversation, asserted the urgency of dealing with David swiftly. He proposed that Kelly visit their exhibition to devise a plan to eliminate him. An FBI agent, posing as a customer, was covertly present at the exhibition, eavesdropping on their dialogue. Stephen outlined the plan. They needed to stop David from requesting money, and the proposed solution involved sending someone to feign giving him money while discreetly eliminating him. The chosen operative for this task was Stephen's friend, Michael McKinney. Michael, unaware of David's hiding place, had served as the intermediary for transferring money. To obtain this crucial information, Kelly pressured David until he revealed his location, Cozumel, Mexico, in a specific hotel since the day of the heist. Armed with this intelligence, they decided to send Michael to deliver the money. The FBI recorded these details and initiated intensive surveillance on Michael. After Kelly's call to David, she informed Stephen that the plan was in place, and they needed to inform Michael about the operation. Stephen agreed, telling her to handle the rest. Stephen then contacted Michael and asked him to meet at a hotel outside Charlotte. When they met, FBI agents were listening in, arranging their plan to assassinate David. They agreed that Michael would go to Mexico, bring people with him, and kill David in a few days. At this point, the FBI realized they needed to act swiftly to protect David and apprehend him at the same time. On March 1, 1998, 3 agents infiltrated a hotel in Mexico, ready to apprehend David Ghantt. As he exited the hotel, 3 individuals surrounded him, demanding identification. Despite David's attempt to escape, they apprehended him, thwarting the deadly plot, and brought him back to Charlotte, North Carolina. The unfolding events marked a pivotal moment in the pursuit of justice for the audacious Loomis Fargo heist. During the interrogation, the agents delved into the motives behind David Ghantt's audacious heist. David explained that financial difficulties and mounting credit card debts had driven him to consider unconventional means. Kelly, a friend with whom he had met outside of work hours, had proposed the idea of robbing the Loomis Fargo warehouse, promising a life of opulence after the heist. Laughingly, she asserted that David was the perfect person for the job. Intrigued, David initially dismissed the notion, but as days passed, found the idea growing on him. The heist, he believed, could be the perfect crime to wipe away his debts entirely. David and Stephen, the mastermind behind the scenes, never met in person and remained unaware of each other's identities. Kelly served as the intermediary, relaying information between them. The elaborate plan involved Stephen enlisting 2 additional individuals to hide the money post-heist and provide David with forged documents. Each participant would receive $50,000 from the stolen proceeds. David meticulously studied the warehouse's security system and identified a strategic opportunity to execute the heist on a Saturday just before the weekend's end. Despite a new guard being assigned that day, David managed to divert him by feigning departure. Under the cover of darkness, he loaded around 1 ton of stolen money into the truck, unwittingly alone. After meeting the gang at a prearranged location, he handed over the truck and keys, keeping only $50,000 for himself. Subsequently, he and his girlfriend, Kelly Campbell, headed to the bus station to purchase tickets to Mexico. Meanwhile, Stephen and his accomplices opened the truck, filled 3 barrels with money, leaving smaller bills behind due to space constraints, and disposed of the vehicle, as mentioned earlier. While David was on the road, the bus stopped at a rest area. Coincidentally, a woman approached him and asked if he was a German tennis player. He replied, "No, ma'am, you've got it wrong." At that moment, he thought he had been exposed and everyone was looking for him. He needed to divert her attention in any way. Upon reaching Mexico, David managed his funds from one hotel to another until he reached the end of his resources. He needed his share from his partners in the heist. But every time he contacted Kelly, she evaded him with riddles and laughed at him. He sensed that something was wrong, but there was nothing he could do except wait. David mentioned that once, while eating in a restaurant, A man approached him and said, "Sir, by the way, you look like the guy who stole $17 million in North Carolina." David panicked, denying any involvement and claiming they were in different locations. When the man left, David quickly changed his appearance at the hotel, shaving his beard and altering his appearance. A day after David's arrest, authorities apprehended Stephen Chambers, his wife Michelle, Kelly Campbell, and Michael McKinney. Stephen, despite promising secrecy, eventually divulged everything to the FBI. The arrests extended to the remaining members of the gang, and authorities seized vast amounts of stolen money, jewelry, and valuables from their residences. With none of the arrested having the financial means to hire lawyers, the recovered amount totaled approximately $10 million, excluding the $3 million found inside the truck. The remainder had been spent in the period following the heist until their apprehension. Michelle Chambers received a sentence of 7 years and 8 months. Stephen Chambers received an 11-year and 3-month sentence, and Kelly Campbell initially faced 11.5 years for conspiracy to commit murder. However, her cooperation with authorities led to a reduced sentence of 5 years and 10 months. In a surprising turn, David Ghantt received a sentence of only 7 years and 6 months. When asked about the possibility of stealing again after the sentence, he remarked, "Of course, if I had the opportunity to steal again, I would definitely steal because such opportunities come only once in a lifetime."
Would I do it again? Yeah. Opportunity like that comes around once in a lifetime. I can be more honest and say, sure.
The FBI auctioned off the recovered properties and items purchased with stolen money, highlighting the lesson that the heist itself isn't the most challenging aspect, but rather, managing and spending the stolen money presents the greatest hurdles. And here we have reached the end of our story today. Until the next story, you can continue watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And for now, ciao.